So here we are looking at the Salomon Assassin after a few days on the hill. They changed up a couple things. It still has that great side cut that's kind of like disrupted, kind of flat, kind of goes out like this, or maybe even just a slight, looks like just a slight bump. It's really fun when it comes to edge hold. It holds in really hard snow. Maybe not a perfect ice board, but definitely on that border. Much more confident in the harder stuff than you would think. And this year, they extended the nose by 1 centimeter. So the nose is a little longer than the tail. It makes it a little more directional, a little more all mountain. One of my heartbreaks is there's only 5 inserts. I'd love it if they did 6 like they did the Assasin Pro. It would kind of complete this board in my book as an all mountain board. Another thing that's interesting is it seems to be the same camber profile as before. But if you notice here, where the black is, you can see that cork that kind of goes to black and then out. Like my old 55 that I had last year really rocked up here. And then when you press down, it rocked up even more. This kind of like rocks up a little bit when you press down from the center, but when you press down from the sides, it doesn't quite rock up as much as it does from the center when you got your full weight on the board. I'm not sure if that's how the production model is going to be, or if it's going to have more rocker like my board did. I really hope it has more rocker because it would really help the board float a little better, be a little more catch free. It felt kind of like full camber, and we rode some really thick powder centered, and we, Peter and I both did some cartwheels. So that kind of sucked, but you can see it's got a nice healthy bow of camber here, which is really fun. I really like that. And then you can kind of see where it kind of flattens. It seems like it flattens out instead of rocker like the way they describe. They describe it as flat, camber, and then, camber to here, then rocker. But the rocker on this and the Assasin Pro that I have, these demo models, is very flat. It's not rockered out like it used to be. And I kind of hope it does like the old way, because you combine that with a longer nose and and you still have a centered stance on side cut and all that, you get a really good board for kind of everything. You can ride it centered, you can take it switch, but then on powder days you can kind of set it back a bit and get a little more directional float than you would your average mountain freestyle board. So let's talk about setting it all the way back. You're looking at 22.5, which is just perfect for most people. And then you're looking at just about 20.5, and then about just about 18.5. So you're only looking 2 inches back on board. That's kind of more your mountain freestyle type of ride, but it's better than it used to be. I kind of like I like that Assasin Pro better in that aspect, because it feels like it makes it a little more all mountain, a little more one board quiver, because you can get a little further back on board and get a little more directional float. But still, great board. Really kind of like wondering whether or not the production model, how that's going to play out with the rocker. If it's going to rock out or rock up, or just rock out when you press down. So we'll have to see how that how the production models look. So if any of you are watching this video, let me know if your production model is different than my demo, because sometimes that happens when I'm doing it this far in advance.